please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember ERBY?
Here.
Councilmember Page? Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Present.
Councilmember Dolan?
Here.
Councilmember TRAKAS?
Present.
Councilmember Carter?
Here.
Madam Vice Chair, we have a quorum.
I move that the approval of the journal of the meeting of March 7th be approved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The March 7, 2017 journal is approved. We have a motion to suspend the rules in order for the presentation of a proclamation by County Executive Stinger to Nancy McCarthy.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The rules are suspended. County Executive.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation. It's lengthy, but it's well worth the read. So, whereas on November 15th, 1984, Nancy McCarthy began working at the Missouri Department of Corrections, Board of Probation and Parole, and has faithfully served the citizens of the state of Missouri for more than 30 years. And whereas Nancy consistently provided the staff of more than 500 with the direction needed for critical supervision services for clients, and she has fostered numerous partnerships to enhance community safety efforts focused on reducing violence in the St. Louis region, including notification meetings and the St. Louis Police Partnership. And whereas Nancy represents the Missouri Division of Probation and Parole's Eastern region in developing and fostering collaborative relationships with federal, state, municipal, and community organizations in an effort to cultivate supervision and treatment services, and she loyally guided the staff in support of the supervision of more than 12,000 clients, helping them to make positive changes in their lives. And whereas Nancy serves as a member of the General Services Board for Alcoholics Anonymous, carrying on the compassionate mission founded by Bill W. and Dr. Bob in 1935. And she co-founded the St. Louis Alliance for Reentry, empowering probation and parole staff to partner with treatment providers, other state agencies, and community entities in an ongoing effort to increase the chances of success. And her passion and devotion has greatly contributed to the implementation of evidence-based practices, such as the Cognitive Restructuring Program, Pathways to Change, benefiting more than 65% of clients who completed the program. And whereas Nancy is a trusted leader and is uniquely gifted in inspiring the passions in others, and she will truly be missed by countless persons who have become richer in spirit for the distinct pleasure of serving with her in dedication to the citizens of the state of Missouri and the greater St. Louis area. Now, therefore, I, Stephen B. Stinger, St. Louis County Executive, congratulate Nancy McCarthy on 30 years of dedication to her clients and coworkers, and do hereby proclaim Friday, March 24th, 2017, as Nancy McCarthy Day in St. Louis County, Missouri. And on behalf of the people of St. Louis County, wish for her a long and happy retirement.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Nice to see you again. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Steiner. If I could, it's truly an honor. Thank you. But I don't think there's been a greater honor than it was to work with the officials from St. Louis County. Herb Burnson, Beth Hubner, the staff who run the probation districts in St. Louis and St. Louis County. This work is hard work. It can't be done without the help and the assistance of others. There's been no greater partners in St. Louis County. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move to bid openings. Oh, we have no bid openings this evening, so we'll move to communications.
Madam Vice Chair, there are no tax compromises, so we'll move to zoning matters. Under zoning matters, item number 1, second district.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
And Vice Chair, there are no road and bridge matters, so we'll move on to other communications. Under other communications, item number 1.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same motion for item number 2, and that will be the order.
Item number 3, first district.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 4, second district.
Receive, file, and the agreement be approved as recommended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 5, seventh district.
Receive, file, and the agreement be approved as recommended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6, second district.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 7, all districts.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 8, first district.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and the copy of this report be sent to the city of Pine Lawn, and that will be the order.
Item number 9, first district.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and the copy of this report be sent to the city of University City, and that will be the order.
Item number 10.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 11, sixth district.
Receive, file, contract in an amount not to exceed $1,611,950 be approved and awarded to Pace Construction Company as requested, and authorization for revision to the existing traffic control devices be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 12, seventh district.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 13.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same motion through item number 18, and that will be the order.
Item number 19, sixth district.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number,
Same for number 20.
So ordered.
item number 21.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
No add-ons this evening, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you. Report of the county executive.
Nothing further this evening.
Thank you. And there are no reports of special committees, so we'll move to the public forum. We have 3 speakers this evening. When you're called, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. There will be a limit of 3 minutes. The deputy clerk will let you know when your 3 minutes are up. Thank you.
First speaker this evening is Dora Liggins. Izora Liggins, I'm sorry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Izora Liggins, 5320 Bermuda Road, Normandy, Missouri, 63121. I just have a couple of questions. I've been coming before the council ever since August of last year, and in December I wrote to Mr. Stinger and I asked him for assistance to help me just to get copies of my disability papers. I've been on disability for many, many years, and for some reason the Boeing Corporation has refused to give me these documents, which makes it hard for me to understand what I'll be facing when I turn 65, which will be shortly. And I was sent to Human Services, but they told me they were unable to help me and directed me back to your office. So I called you and sent an email, and I asked you if you would contact Boeing or the Department of Insurance at least and ask them to supply me with these documents. And I haven't heard from your office, so Mr. Stinger, have you been able to contact them on my behalf, at least, and ask them to send me these documents?
Yeah, I'm not aware of that request coming to my office, and it's really not within the purview of my office to, as an attorney, it might be something that an attorney would handle, but not really something for the county executive's office. Peter?
or letters of recommendation. I mean, all I need is some help here. I've been everywhere, to all the lawyers, to all the administration agencies in the state, to the governor. I was here on the 28th, you weren't here. I gave the council a copy of the emails that I gave you, and then I gave them a copy of what my granddaughter had to experience when we went down to the Wayne Wright building trying to get this information. You know.
Yeah, it's not really a county matter, but Peter Crane is our attorney for the county. He may be able to. Do you want to talk after
I'd be
the
happy
meeting?
to
Maybe?
speak with her afterwards and
Okay.
see if there's anything the county can do, and if not,
Yeah, we'd certainly like to be helpful if we
Certainly.
can.
Okay, I would appreciate any help because it's been going on a long time.
Thank you. No problem.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Keith Rose.
Good evening. My address is 1715 Seminole Lane. I live in Godfrey, Illinois. I'm here as a representative for the National Lawyers Guild. There were 3 people, or maybe 4, arrested 2 nights ago in Ferguson by county officers. They were all taken to St. Louis County Jail, and I've been working on their release ever since. One of them was not issued charges and was supposed to get out after a 24-hour hold last night. When we went to go get him, he was supposed to get out at 11:06. We went to go get him at 10 o'clock, and we were at the jail until 4 o'clock this morning. While we were there, your officers repeatedly gave us misinformation, told us such things that he would be out in an hour. We kept waiting, and then they told us that he had already been released from the jail and that we must have just missed him. Then they came out again and they told us that he was being held on a $25,000 cash-only bond, and we'd have to come back with the money. And then I went in to ask them for the charges. You see, they had told our people that we weren't allowed to wait in the lobby. They thought it was a security measure, which is interesting because they only do that when people who are associated with protests show up to get their friends out of jail. I went back to ask for the charges, and they told me it was really odd because he had no charges, that he had indeed already been released. But they had no paperwork showing that he had been released. They had no paperwork showing that he had signed himself out. I asked them to go search the jail to try to find my client, and they couldn't find him. I asked them to go look in the property for a bag of his property to see if it was still there. And they said they don't do that. We found out that he was released 2 hours after we left, into the cold, with nowhere to go, without his keys, without him when he call anyone on his cell phone because it was dead. They just put him out there in the dark of the night. I want to tell you that we thought that St. Louis County had done some retraining since Ferguson. We thought that things had been quietly changing behind the scenes, but it seems like that's not true. It seems like policing in your county is just as inept as ever, and it needs to be fixed. I know that most of the cameras have left, most of the attention is off of you, but now is still the time for change because problems are still being felt by the people in the community. I don't have very many interactions with the St. Louis County justice system now that the protests are largely over. But if this is what happens to one person who I'm dealing with, I can imagine it happens quite frequently. The fact that you've lost someone inside of your jail is entirely ridiculous. The fact that you're on a 24-hour hold but end up being held for 30-some hours is entirely ridiculous. The fact that he was released without his property is also ridiculous. He is right now at DePaul seeking medical treatment for the injuries he suffered in his arrest. An arrest, by the way, which led to no charges, and yet he was injured. I ask you to please look into this matter, but not only that, to please look for retraining for your officers, for your corrections officers, because these things need to end. St. Louis County needs to move forward, and it seems like there was just a pause, and now we're back to the same old ways. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Scott Campus.
Good evening, I'll be brief. My name is Scott Campus, K-A-M-P-A-S, P.O. Box 63094, St. Louis, zip code 63163. I'll speak briefly about 2 nights ago. As everyone I'm sure is aware, St. Louis County is again in the news for events in Ferguson. So officers responded at around 11 o'clock. They were pushing everybody off the lot of the Ferguson Market, which is near Ferguson Avenue and West Florissant Avenue. Legal observers and others were told to keep moving throughout the entire area in violation of litigation and of the so-called 5-second rule. People were allowed to be in the area but not be stationary. This is a violation of the 5-second rule, as well as the Department of Justice cited the county for problems, and this was among those. There had been improvements, now this is back. Some of your officers also refused to identify themselves and were concealing their badges and their name tags. Other officers were quite professional, so there seems to need to be some retraining as well as repercussions for officers that refuse to comply with both the guidelines and policies of the department as well as the law.
Thank you. I'm sorry, that would include the public forum, introduction of bills.
Bill number 63, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept 4 grants totaling up to $573,111 from the Office of National Drug Control Policy, appropriating the same for support of police functions related to drug law enforcement, and authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 64, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance appropriating and setting apart the amount of $194,824 from the unappropriated balance of the Emergency Communications System Fund for support of improved security measures for 5 emergency communications system towers. Bill number 65, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance approving acceptance of donation of $1,175 from youth in need, and appropriating the same for support of a summer culinary program for youth involved with the family court. Bill number 66, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract and subsequent renewals with United Healthcare of the Midwest Incorporated for the Department of Public Health to serve as a primary care medical provider as part of the Missouri Medicaid Managed Care Program. Bill number 67, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract and subsequent renewals with St. Louis University School of Medicine for obstetrical and gynecologic services at county health clinics. Bill number 68, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance amending ordinance number 26,528 by adding a new section 3 pertaining to use of federal grant funding for reimbursement. Bill number 69, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute an agreement with the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy for participation in a prescription drug monitoring program, interstate data exchange. Bill number 70, introduced by Councilmember TRAKAS. An ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Old Guard Missouri Foundation Incorporated for refurbishing a plaza in Jefferson Barracks Park. Bill number 71, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a donation of up to $6,500 from the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals for support of maintenance of a mobile animal sheltering trailer, appropriating the donation for support of said maintenance. Bill number 72, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract and 3 renewals with Thomas J. Gantner for computer consulting services for the St. Louis County Medical Examiner's Office. Bill number 73, introduced by Councilmember Erby. An ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Shea Roofing Incorporated for repairs to the roof of the Met Center building, St. Louis County Public Works number 16-009-OC. Bill number 74, introduced by Councilmember Harder. An ordinance amending Title 12 St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974's amended traffic code by enacting and adding 2 provisions to Schedule 4. Bill number 75, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance amending Chapter 1005, Title 10 St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended, subdivision ordinance, by repealing and reenacting sections 1005.090, 1005.110, and 1005.190, each pertaining to record plats. Bill number 76, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $55 million principal amount of special obligation notes, tax anticipation, Series 2017-1 of St. Louis County, Missouri, for the purpose of providing funds to pay and discharge the expenses and obligations properly payable from the general fund of the county in the county's fiscal year ending December 31st, 2017, and not to exceed $65 million principal amount of special obligation notes tax anticipation, Series 2018-1 of St. Louis County, Missouri, for the purpose of providing funds to pay and discharge the expenses and obligations properly payable from the general fund of the county in the county's fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018, and prescribing the form and details of said notes and the covenants and agreements to provide for the payment and security thereof, and authorizing certain actions and documents and prescribing other matters relating thereto. Madam Chair, that is all the bills.
Perfection of bills.
Bill number 41, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray.
Hold Bill number 41, please.
Bill number 41 is held.
Bill number 59, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page.
I move for perfection of bill number 59.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 59 is perfected.
Bill number 60, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page.
I move for perfection of bill number 60.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 60 is perfected.
Bill number 61, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page.
I move for perfection of bill number 61.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 61 is perfected.
Bill number 62, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
I move to perfect Bill number 62.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 62 is perfected. Final passage of bills.
Bill number 116, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
Please hold Bill number 116.
Bill number 116 is held.
Bill number 24, introduced by Councilmember TRAKAS.
Please hold Bill number 24.
Bill number 24 is held.
Bill number 50, introduced by Councilmember Page.
I move for final passage of bill number 50.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page. Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
And Vice Chair on Bill number 50, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 50 is finally passed.
Bill number 51, introduced by Councilmember Page.
I move for final passage of bill number 51.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page. Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Vice Chair on Bill number 51, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 51 is finally passed.
Bill number 52, introduced by Councilmember Page.
I move for final passage of bill number 52.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page. Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Vice Chair on Bill number 52, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 52 is finally passed.
Bill number 53, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger.
I move for final passage of Bill number 53 for Colleen.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page. Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Vice Chair on Bill number 53, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 53 is finally passed.
Bill number 54, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
I move for final passage of Bill number 54.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page. Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Vice Chair on Bill number 54, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 54 is finally passed.
Bill number 55, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger.
I move for final passage of Bill number 55 for Councilman Wassinger.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page. Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Vice Chair on Bill number 55, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 55 is finally passed.
Bill number 56, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray.
I move for the final passage of Bill number 56.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page. Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Vice Chair on Bill number 56, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 56 is finally passed.
Bill number 57, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray.
I move for the final passage of Bill number 57.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page? Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Madam Vice Chair, on Bill number 57, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 57 is finally passed.
Bill number 58, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Madam Chairman, I move for final passage of Bill number 58.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page? Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Madam Vice Chair, on Bill number 58, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 58 is finally passed.
Moving on to resolutions, Madam Vice Chair, we have 2 this evening. Resolution number 1, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page.
I move for adoption of resolution number 1.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page? Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Madam Vice Chair, on resolution number 1, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Resolution number 1 is adopted.
Resolution number 2, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page.
I move for adoption of resolution number 2.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page? Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Madam Vice Chair, on resolution number 2, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Resolution number 2 is adopted.
Moving on to unfinished business. Madam Vice Chair, item number 1, 6th District.
Please hold item number 1 in the order of business.
So ordered.
Item number 2, 3rd, 4th, and 7th Districts.
Receive, file, reject all bids received and revised estimate of cost be approved, and the Director of Procurement be authorized to re-advertise for bids as recommended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And Madam Vice Chair, moving on to new business, we have 8 prepared orders this evening.
I move for the adoption of orders 1 through 8.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Orders number 1 through 8 are adopted.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.